Okay, folks, so we're going to do 7 things to say to myself in less than 6 minutes. We're going to be able to do this, so we're going to get through it quickly. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say to myself is I'm following God's plan. That's the one thing you want to make sure that you're doing, that you're spending time on your knees, asking God, what is your plan for my life? And seeing to it that you are working through it and saying, God, look, I want to make sure I'm following your plan. So one thing you want to say every single morning is, I'm following God's plan for my life. And not just saying it, but then looking at yourself and saying, let me make sure, let me get in his word and let me listen to him all day long. Let me listen to him all day long and figure out whether or not I'm walking in it. And just keep saying, Lord, I want to walk in your will. I want to walk in your will. The first thing you say is, I am walking. That is something you can tell yourself every single day. Second thing you can tell yourself, and look, there's hundreds of things you can tell yourself, and there are hundreds of things you can tell other people, but listen, here's what you can say. You say, I'm making a difference, okay? I'm making a difference. I know sometimes, especially with teachers right now and the mess that they're in, having to try to teach in schools and teach online and teach different ways and see if the kids are even going to be in your school or if the teacher's going to be in your school. It's just craziness right now. But you need to be saying to yourself, to the police officers, to the nurses, to everybody, to preachers and teachers and all these different things, to the housewife, to the mom who's staying at home, to the mom who's working, to the dad who's working, to the dad who's staying at home. All of you making a difference. I'm making a difference. But make sure you are, okay? This isn't just some kind of positive affirmation stuff. I'm saying this to make sure that I know that this is the direction I ought to be going. And you can do this, and you can be strong in this. Look, the bottom line is you're making a difference. You're making a positive difference. Okay, maybe that's something else you want. I'm making a positive difference on the people around me, and I'm doing my best. And that's a careful thing to remember. Another thing you can tell yourself is, I'm not wasting time. I'm not going to do that. Oh my goodness, that's one thing I hate to do, because you can't get that back. You can't get it back. The Greeks had this mythological character that had hair in the front and no hair in the back. I don't have either, so you can't grab on to me, period. But here was the deal. As time gets closer, you can grab on. But if you let it get by you and you go back to the nap of that hair and there's no hair in the back, when time gets away from you, I'm telling you, I'm not wasting time. Say to yourself, I'm not wasting time. I am following God's plan and I'm making a difference. You need to be saying those things to yourself every day. I'm not going to waste time. And it is so hard for me. Sometimes I get caught up in emails. Sometimes I get caught up, on this or that or the other social media, any of those things, watching a 5-minute video on trajectory, whatever it happens to be. We're wasting a lot of time. But here's the thing. Make sure that whatever you're watching and doing and saying and speaking, reading, whatever like that, is improving you and making sure you're not wasting time. Now, playing with your kids, being with your family, that's not wasting time, but folks, spend good quality time with them, okay? Spend some good quality, loving time with them. But that's one more thing you're going to say to yourself. I'm not going to waste any more time. Another thing you say, I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to keep lying to myself. I'm gonna tell myself the truth. Hey, Ryan, you need to do this. Hey, Ryan, you need to do that. This is how we need to do this. This is how we need to do that. No, you do have a problem with anger. I'm not gonna say, no, I don't have a problem with that, or I don't have a problem with impatience, or I don't have a problem with this. I'm not gonna say that to myself anymore. I'm gonna tell myself the truth. I'm gonna stop lying to myself. And that's what I say. I'm not gonna lie to myself. So what have you got? I'm following God's plan. I'm making a difference. I'm not wasting time. And listen, I don't lie to myself. So what's something else that I can say to myself is this: I forgive. I forgive. I'm a forgiving person. Say that to yourself. I'm a forgiving person. Maybe you're not, but you keep saying it to yourself. When you say it, become that person. Do it, whatever you can do. It lifts a weight off you. It takes a weight off you would not believe. You're going to need that in this world. You're going to need to learn to forgive. Oh, but you got something you won't let go. I promise you, it will rot you. It will rot you from the outside in and from the inside out. It will rot again. You have got to learn to forgive. So that's one more thing you're going to say. You're going to say, I'm following God's plan. You're going to say, I'm making a difference. You're going to say, I'm not wasting time. You're going to say, I'm not going to lie to myself. And you say, I'm going to forgive people. What's another thing you can do? I'm accountable. Stop blaming other people. That is not your job to blame other people. Your job is to say, listen, here's the part that I'm responsible for. I'm going to take responsibility for it, especially if you're in leadership. It all comes under you. It all comes under you. So even when somebody else has made a mistake, hey, that's true. We need to speak with them and talk with them and find out what happened and how we can help them. But ultimately, they're under your leadership, so we take accountability. We take extreme ownership, as the book says, extreme ownership, and we don't try to blame it on someone else. So what do we got now? We've got, I'm following God's plan. I'm making a difference. I'm not wasting time. I'm not going to lie to myself. I forgive, and I'm accountable. I'm accountable. People can count on me because I'm accountable. and it means I am going to take responsibility for what it is I have done. The last thing we're going to talk about today is I'm not going to have a lot of regrets. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to live my life to the fullest and do the very best I can. I'm going to tell people that I love them. I'm going to tell them how much I appreciate them, and I'm going to make sure that they know that they are pivotal to where I'm going in life and where God is taking me in life, that God has placed certain people in my life for that reason, and I'm going to make sure that I don't have any regrets, that I tell everybody in my family that I love them and make sure that they know how much I love them. I'm going to take risks. I'm going to take chances. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to see God fulfill His will in my life. I am going to never regret again. I'm hoping that even the failures that I have, hopefully never ever moral failure, but the failures I have in pursuing goals and dreams, that I will use them for positive change and not regret, but say, hey, I'm going to use this. I'm going to fail forward, as Maxwell says. I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to make sure that I'm progressing even in the midst of failure. Love you guys. See you.